everybody, Crafting Journey here, that Journey Chick on Instagram. Welcome to another edition of Crafting and Crime Daily. I don't know why this is on the desk. I'm not going to be using it for diamond painting. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, no matter when you are watching this. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I have my shamrocks on. See, there they are. Socks. Yes. So nobody can pinch me today. And there's some green that's going through this shirt. Just a little. It's more of a blue green, like an aqua. But, you know, I like it. Anyway, I got shamrocks on. Don't forget to wear green today so you don't get pinched. So, don't forget to hit the like button. He is not Irish, but I am making him wear a green Irish tutu, an Irish shirt, socks, the whole 9 yards. I'll take a picture of him later. So don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe if you enjoy the content. If not, there's other channels. Thank you for watching. And don't forget the notification bell, because you don't want to miss another episode of Crafting and Crime, because we're talking about 2 trials today. Yes, I don't think the Husel trial is ever going to end. I really don't. Oh my God. Yeah, more about that later. We got the planner out. Hi, Tootsie. Good morning. Hi, baby. Hi. I think spring is here. Yay, it's arrived. It got pretty warm yesterday. I had to start opening windows and yeah. Hi. What's up? What is up? I forgot to give her breakfast. She's like, "Where's my breakfast, Mother? You forgot." I'm running a little late today, so she's going to make sure I did not forget to feed her. So yes, she's been fed. Okay, back to the planner. Today is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So it already says that right there, St. Patrick's Day. Gotta go to work today. Gotta go to work. Work, work, work. And it's almost 8 o'clock. I forgot to set my daggone alarm. Yeah. I have been sleeping a lot. I don't know why. Just, my body needs sleep. Yeah. Okay, so let's write this down. St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. And this day in history is the day that St. Patrick died. So we're going to talk a little bit about who St. Patrick was and why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick. Okay. We're supposed to get like a little pot of gold today. Yeah. No gold for me. So I finished a 3rd section on the dog. His paw. I had the paw done yesterday, but I managed to like fill in around the paw. Like last night I was just doing white, off-white, off-white, white, off-white, off-white. Oh, man. Yeah. But by the time I finish this painting, I'm never going to want to see these colors again, for sure. But look how pretty it looks when it blends together, those 3 colors. Gorgeous. Anyway, I digress. How are you today? I did my Craft With Me Wednesday last night. Shelleen was not feeling well, so we didn't color. That's Shelleen's Creativity Room. If you want to check out her channel, she does a lot of coloring, diamond painting, cross stitching. Yeah, she's amazing with cross stitching. Coloring too. Yeah, she's pretty amazing with the coloring, which is why I always have her on. In any case, I'll put a link to that here. I just did my cross stitch. I tried to get my temperature cross stitch a little bit more up to date. I'm still in February, but I'm working my way through February. And it's interesting to see the temperatures, like on one Thursday it was really hot. The next Thursday it was cold. The next Thursday it's hot. Yeah. Like one Thursday it was like 80 something. The next Thursday was 40. It's so weird, these temperatures. But I think we're at a point where we're going to level out. Spring is here. I can't wait to see some flowers, the grass, the lawn man. Our trial today involves a lawn man. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about St. Patrick. Okay, so this is the day we wear green. Even if we're not Irish, wear the green so you don't get pinched. According to the lore, wearing the green tradition dates back to the story written about St. Patrick in 1726. St. Patrick used the shamrock, which is on my socks. You can't see it. Anyway, to illustrate the Holy Trinity. I did not know that. It makes total sense when you think about it. I just thought it's a 3-leaf clover instead of a 4-leaf clover. And he wore green clothing. While the story is unlikely to be true, many will revel in the Irish heritage and eat Irish fare today. In the United States, St. Patrick's Day has been celebrated since before the country was formed, like in the 1600s, yeah. At times, the holiday had been a bit more of a rowdy one, with green beer parades and talk of leprechauns and pots of gold. Don't forget pots of gold. However, in Ireland, St. Patrick's Day takes on a more solemn mood. It wasn't until events in the United States broadcast in Ireland that some of the Yankee ways spread across the pond. One Irish-American tradition that is not done in Ireland is corned beef and cabbage. They do not do that in Ireland. Just the United States, but we've made it our Irish thing. Now, my sister and I had corned beef and cabbage earlier in the week. She made it. She's like, I'm gonna make this. And Malia was here, so we made it. And not we. She made it. I've never made corned beef. I don't even know how to make it. She was boiling it or something. I don't know. I didn't ask because I don't want. Sometimes you just don't want to know how things are made. Because if she had told me ahead of time, I'm boiling this, I would have said, "Ew." But it was delicious. Corned beef, potatoes, cabbage, and she threw in some carrots because we have them in the fridge. And Malia loved it. She likes corned beef. My nose itches. Someone is talking about me. Stop it. All right, coffee time. Coffee time. Let's talk about crafting and crime daily. I'm assuming what you came here for. You don't come here to hear me chit chat. Anyway, I can't talk today. What is wrong with me? Just as an aside, I started my sister's crochet project. I just decided I wanted to start it last night with the mint green. Oh, so pretty. Yeah, anyway. That was a digression. Let's talk about the trial of William Husel. Yes. Day 15 or maybe 16. I don't know. So now we're like 4 weeks into the trial because they only do the trial Monday through Thursday. So we're in the 4th week of this trial. So yesterday they put on a few RNs. First RN was Wesley Black. He appeared by Zoom because he lives in another part of the country. No longer works in healthcare. Every one of the nurses that they have put on worked in that ICU. They were all let go. They were first put on administrative leave in December, and then in I think it's later the next year they were all terminated. They called in and terminated. So this guy, he went to the Mount Carmel School of Nursing, which apparently does not teach you anything about fentanyl dosage. He graduated in February 2018. He mentioned that he had a 14-week preceptorship in the ICU. Like they were throwing these brand new nurses into the ICU. Oh my God, that is a recipe for disaster. It really is. Now, he graduated at the top of the class. I'm sure he was quite capable. But it's just, nursing is something you learn predominantly through experience. I remember as a new nurse, I knew nothing about how to organize myself. If you don't know how to organize yourself, that's a huge part of the job, is just trying to figure out how you're going to organize yourself. You've got all these patients. there's just so much to learn that you don't learn in nursing school. So to put a new nurse into the ICU, no, any specialty, you just don't do that. You put them on a med surge floor, so they become comfortable with giving medications, routine dosages of medications, how to give those medications. There's so much to learn outside of the school. They can't teach you everything in a school. You're not going to have every situation. But anyway, this was Mount Carmel. So he was put on the night shift. He described Dr. Husel as known for being very aggressive with his care and his dosaging, and he admitted to giving two of the 14 patients that Dr. Husel is on trial for murdering, he admitted to administering very high doses of fentanyl, as well as other medications, and not questioning those dosages. He said that one of them that he gave was not approved by the pharmacy, but here was his thought process. He says, if Dr. Husel ordered it, I'm sure that this is something that he's very subject to routine. He does pretty much the same thing in every situation. So he figured this has probably been done many times before, so I'm just not going to question it. It's probably one more of his routine orders, which it was, and they were all administering it. He admitted to overriding the Pyxis, going to get all the medication. Here's the thing, though. Actually, he didn't admit. He admit that in many times he would override the Pyxis to get medications. But in this case, it was another one of those situations where the nurse taking care of the patient was, trying to prepare for the palliative extubation of this patient. And Dr. Husel and that particular nurse get called away for an admission that's an emergency. The guy's coding. They got to go over there real quick. So this nurse who had to go said, hey, I've already gotten the medication. Dr. Husel repeated his order. He says, here, it's already drawn up. This nurse went and administered something that someone else took out of the Pyxis and someone else drew up. What? Never do that. Oh my God. No, you just, especially that kind of a dosaging. Oh my God, no. So he took the syringe, went in, administered it, the patient died. Of course the patient died. Oh my word. Okay. He did say that the majority of the nurses in this ICU had less than 2 years experience. That's not good. Yeah. So, wow. On one of the patients he described that, I told you about the other patient. So another patient that he said that the husband and the granddaughter were there, and the patient had had a really rough day, not stable, but at this point she was stabilized. They had stabilized her, and her vital signs were fine. And he tells the granddaughter and the husband, hey, go home. Go home and get some rest. We'll call you if anything changes. So Dr. Husel comes in after he sends them home. And he's looking at a lab report, and he's like, oh, this shows she's declining. She is not stable. We need to bring the family in for a palliative extubation. Okay. So he brings the family in. They palliative extubate her, and she passes away. Yeah. So they also put another hospitalist on the stand, and he testified the same thing all the rest of the hospitalists have testified to at this point. It was really funny because there's a live chat going on while I'm watching these trials, and some person in the chat was like counting cumulative witness number 15. Yes, a lot of this is cumulative. A lot of it is the same testimony, but each of the nurses and each of the hospitalists are testifying as to a different one of the 14 patients. And you have to bring in the hospitalists because they are the people that signed death certificates for these individual people. So because these were not medical examiner cases where you would typically in a murder case, you have the medical examiner come in and testify about the death of the patient and what caused the death and the manner of death. They don't have that here. So they have to bring in every one of the hospitalists that signed a death certificate for one of these 14 patients to say, how did you arrive at the cause of death? What was the cause of death? Did you look at the medication report before you came to your decision about the cause of death? Nope, I did not. So there were things that they did not take into consideration before making, what the cause of death was. So anyway, on to the next trial. So this next trial, really interesting, very different than the William Husel trial. We're going the opposite direction. This is conspiracy to commit murder. So apparently what I'm gathering is Lorenzen Wright had a wife with 6 children, I think one set of twins, 6 children, and he was divorcing her, or they had just divorced. Her name was Sharon. So first witness on the stand is Mom, and Mom was oh God, she was the sweetest lady, the sweetest little old lady. Oh my God, she just loved her son to death. She talked about him, as a child and what he was like growing up. And then he became this basketball star, and he went and he came home and he was in college, and he says, Mom, I'm not going to finish college. They want me in the NBA. And she's like, no, you are going to finish your degree. He goes, Mom, where else am I going to make $1 million? What kind of degree am I going to get where I make $1 million? And she's like, when do you leave? So I thought that was a funny story that she told. So there came a point over the summer of 2012 where her son, he did not live in Memphis anymore. He lived in Atlanta. So, but he would come back home for various occasions, and he was supposed to come home for his sister's baby shower. And he didn't show up for the baby shower. So now Mom's upset. What? Where are you? She's calling. He's not answering. Very unusual. Then she has his son, Lorenzen Jr., call him. And she says, if he doesn't answer Lorenzen's calls, we know he is not on this earth anymore, because he never misses a call from Lorenzen Jr. And Lorenzen called him 5 times. No answer. Yeah. So at one point they ask a question about the baby shower, and she says, oh, my daughter just walked in. You can ask her. And they're like, no, you're on the witness stand. We're asking you. It was funny. She was a sweetie. But, she this hit her hard. It really did. It really did. Yeah, poor thing. She did say that he had a $150,000 pension from the NBA and a $1 million life insurance policy at the time of his death. So the next witness is the cousin of Sharon, the ex-wife. Now, Lorenzo he's living in Atlanta there. He's not living there anymore. He's playing basketball. Sharon needs help with these kids. So her young cousin, who's still in high school, comes to her house like 5 days a week. She's helping out making meals, doing laundry. She's helping with kids. She's not getting paid. She's like, no, I just did it to help my cousin out. Isn't that nice of her? But she was also pregnant at the time. Pregnant and in high school. She helped watch the kids. So she described Billy Ray. Now, Billy Ray Turner is the guy that is on trial for conspiracy to commit the murder of Lorenzen Wright. Now, Sharon, the ex-wife, is the person he conspired with, and one other person named, what's his name? Jay. The 3 of them conspired to commit this murder, allegedly. But where's I going with this? Oh, brain fart. Sharon has already confessed everything. She's already taken a plea. She's in jail, so she's not being tried. She's serving a 30-year sentence, but she is expected to testify in this trial against Billy Ray Turner. Now, who was Billy Ray Turner? The lawn guy. Yes, he was the lawn guy. I don't know why I think that's so funny. I just do. Anyway, she divorces the basketball player who's making millions of dollars, and she's having an affair with the lawn guy, allegedly. So the cousin's testimony about the lawn guy was, well, I think they were having a relationship. I don't know for sure, but I suspected it. And apparently on cross-examination, this was the first time she'd ever said anything like that, is when she was on the stand. He's like, you've never said that before. She's like, well, you never ask. So I thought it was kind of funny. So she was in the kitchen one day, and she's making lunch for the kids, and her sister and Billy Ray walk in, and they're talking. I guess they didn't realize she was in there. They're talking, and Sharon says, he's got a hit out on me. And the cousin's like, what? Who? And she's like, Lorenzen's got a hit out on me, so he's got to go. We got to get rid of him. It's him or me. And she's talking to this Billy Ray, and she's talking to her cousin, and her cousin's like, he does not have a hit out on you. Come on, She's not even believing this whole thing. So she just kind of dismisses it. And then there was several months later, she's in the living room. She's folding clothes. Now, it's a big open concept area that they have in this house. She's folding clothes, watching television, and in comes Billy Ray, Sharon, and this guy, Jay. Now, Jay is a cousin, but he's a cousin on her Sharon's mother's side, so not a cousin to this woman that was helping out with the laundry. And she says, I don't even know Jay. I just know he's a cousin of hers. So the three of them walk in, and again, they're talking about, I can't believe he's got a hit on me. And she looks at her cousin, and she says, are you still on that? Give it up. He's not got a hit out on you, And they're like, no. It's him or me. He's got to go. And so they're having this conversation. And so she leaves the room. She's like, I don't want anything to do with this, But they said, one of them mentioned, hey, now she's involved. She heard us. And they're like, no. Her sister's like, no. She'll get off. If anything happens, we'll get her off. What? So after Lorenzo is discovered dead, she doesn't say anything, this cousin. Now, this all comes out on cross-examination. So the attorney on cross is like, in 2012, why didn't you come forward with this information that you had? And she's like, because I was pregnant at the time, and I was trying to protect myself. I feared for my life. If I said anything, I knew they would come and kill me. If they killed Lorenzo, they would kill me. So no, I didn't say anything. I kept quiet. So she said it wasn't until police came to her years later. She said she had finished work for the day. She was at a gas station pumping gas, and one police officer walks up to her and says, hey, and he introduces himself and says what he's doing, investigating the death of Lorenzo Wright. Can you come down to the police station and talk to us for? So she does. And she spills the beans. She tells them about these conversations she heard. So what they do is they offer her immunity. She takes the immunity. She can never be prosecuted for her role in any of this. And then they put her on the phone with her cousin, and they give her a script, and they're trying to get her cousin Sharon to implicate herself in the death, which she never does. She can't get her to do it on the phone. So this was fodder for a great deal of cross-examination, like making this woman out to be a liar. Didn't you take $10,000 as hush money? No, I did not. Didn't you tell somebody you did? No, I did not. She swears she did not get $10,000 of hush money. No. I don't know where that came from, but I thought that was an interesting line of questioning. But here's the interesting thing. She admits she never heard Billy was to play any part of the plot. She called Billy she described him as slow, and she didn't mean mentally. She said, I don't mean that he's mentally slow, but just sort of an introvert, and he never really said much during the conversations that she overheard. So the two things she admitted to, one, and these are very important, that she never heard what his part was to be in any of these plots. And two, she never saw any evidence that there was a relationship between this lawn guy and her cousin. She just suspected it based on the way they interacted together. So, yeah. Two very good points. I wonder if this Billy Ray is going to get off. What's the evidence against him? Except that woman's going to come in and testify. So then the jury's going to have to determine, is she credible or not? Does she make a credible witness, or is she just trying to take somebody down with her? We'll see when she testifies. So that's the case of Billy Ray Turner. Very interesting. Husel and Turner. All right, let's talk about this day in history. We're going to talk about who St. Patrick was. He died this day in history in the year 441 or 446 or some long ago, far away year. 461. Did I guess 461? I don't think I did. Okay. He was a Christian missionary. So what happened to St. Patrick was when he was a young boy, 16 years old, he was captured and enslaved by Irish marauders, and he was taken to Ireland, where he herded sheep for the next 6 years. And then he had this dream that he could escape. So he gets on this British ship and he escapes, and he goes back to Britain. So he's in Britain and, tooling around, and then he just has another dream that tells him he needs to go back and serve the people of Ireland. So he becomes a priest, and he goes back to Ireland, and he was responsible for converting thousands of people to Christianity. Yes, with his little shamrock. Yeah. And they made him Saint Patrick. Yep. The voice of the Irish. Patrick seemed to hear the voices of Irishmen pleading him to return to their country and walk amongst them once more. After studying for the priesthood, Patrick was ordained a bishop. He arrived in Ireland in 433 and began preaching the gospel, converting many thousands of Irish and building churches all around the country. After 40 years of living in poverty, teaching, traveling, and working tirelessly, Patrick died on this day in history in 461, where he had built his first church. Since that time, countless legends have grown up around Patrick. They made him the patron saint of Ireland, and he is said to have baptized hundreds of people on a single day, and he used the three-leaf clover, the famous shamrock, to describe the Holy Trinity. In art, he's often portrayed trampling snakes, in accordance with the belief that he drove the snakes out of Ireland. For centuries, the Irish have observed the day of St. Patrick's death as a religious holiday, attending church in the morning and celebrating with food and drink in the afternoon. Not corned beef and cabbage, though. We already learned that. That's an American thing. So funny. Okay, guys, that is the show for today. I gotta go to work. No drive live today. I know it's Thursday, but I did it on Monday, so yeah. So check that out too. Maybe if I remember, I'll put the link to that up here as well. I heard from I heard from Wambui. Oh my God. Hi, Wambui, if you're watching. I miss you too, girl. Wambui is this amazing creator. She does loom knitting. Check out her channel. It's called Wambui Made It, WAMBUI Made It. She very good at loom knitting. She lives in New York, and she's a wonderful, wonderful person to get to know. So just a shout out to her channel. And have a great day, guys. I love you all. See you tomorrow in Crafting and Crime Daily.